Hi guys, it's Amelia, and welcome back to Dark Psychology. Let me ask you something that most men are too afraid to admit. Have you ever looked at a woman, felt that spark, maybe even flirted a little, but then walked away asking yourself, wait, was she actually into me? Chances are, yes, she was. In fact, it's very likely that a woman has fantasized about you before, maybe even more than once. But here's the problem. You missed the moment. You didn't see the signal. And that's not your fault. See, 99% of men completely misread the way women communicate attraction. Not because they're stupid or oblivious, but because female desire is subtle, psychologically layered, and deeply emotional. It doesn't shout, it whispers. And the truth is, once you know what to look for, once you understand the emotional primal triggers that make a woman say yes in her mind before you even touch her, you'll start seeing the opportunities most men never even recognize. Opportunities to lead, to connect, to escalate naturally, authentically, powerfully. So, here's my promise. By the time you finish this video, you'll not only understand what turns women on, you'll know how to activate that desire without needing money, looks, or status. But first, let me make one thing very clear. You don't need to be a male model, you don't need six-pack abs, you don't need cheesy pickup lines, and you definitely don't need to be some alpha billionaire macho fantasy. You just need to change one thing, and it has nothing to do with what you say, and everything to do with how you show up. Because the guys who get women effortlessly, the ones women crave, think about, and come back for again and again, they all know this one psychological secret, and they use it without even realizing it. It gives them what I call an unfair advantage. More options, more confidence, more success in the bedroom and beyond. And once I reveal it to you, you'll be able to do the exact same thing. So block out a few minutes, turn off distractions, and stay with me. Because this isn't another pickup video. This is about rewiring your entire mindset around sex and desire, so that women don't just want you, they say yes to you with zero hesitation. I'm Amelia, and from this point on, consider me your personal wingwoman. Every week on Dark Psychology, I'm giving you the no BS truth about what women really want, not the sugar-coated answers we tell the nice guys to keep them guessing. And if you're ready to become the man women chase, not the one who's always chasing them, hit that subscribe button. All right, let's dive in. Let's start with the core question every man has asked at some point. How do you get a woman to sleep with you? Seems simple, right? But for most guys, it's not. It's confusing, frustrating, exhausting. They try, they put in the effort, they follow the rules, and still they get friend-zoned, ghosted, or worse, told they're just not that type. It hurts. It leads to bitterness, loneliness, and for some guys, a quiet kind of hopelessness that no one talks about. So what do? They turn to the manosphere, the red pill, the dating coaches with sunglasses and fake alpha energy. They learn the tricks, the pickup routines, the manipulation games. And yes, sometimes it works. Sometimes they get a girl into bed. But at what cost? Usually they destroy any chance for something real. They make women feel like tools or trophies, and often, even after getting laid, these guys still feel empty. Why? Because they never learned how to truly connect with female desire. And here's the secret that no one is talking about. It's actually natural for women to say yes to sex. We want to say yes, we think about it, we fantasize, we crave it. We're not innocent little angels walking around in rom-coms. We're highly sexual beings. But here's the catch. We don't say yes to just anyone. And we definitely don't say yes to men who look like they're begging for it. We say yes when it feels right. When we feel safe, when we feel seen, desirable, and excited all at the same time. And when a man brings the wrong energy, when he shows up desperate, needy, or too focused on the outcome, it kills the mood before it even starts. Because guess what? We can feel it when a man is hungry for sex. And it's one of the biggest turnoffs in the world. That neediness says more than you think. It says, I don't have options. It says, I need this from you to feel good about myself. It says, I don't see you as a person, just a body. And if that's the vibe you give off, even without saying a word, it's game over. So here's the question every guy should be asking. How do you make a woman want to say yes? Naturally, willingly, and without pressure? The answer lies in something I call the masculine mindset shift. It's the mental reframe that separates the men women crave from the men women forget. And it starts with one simple but powerful truth. You are not the buyer in the sexual marketplace. Let me say that again because it's important. You are not the buyer. You are the seller. See, most guys walk around thinking they need to earn sex, that it's some kind of prize women are guarding and they have to do tricks or prove themselves to get it. But that energy right there, that's the problem. Because when you chase sex, when you act like it's rare or that you need it to validate your masculinity, you put her on a pedestal and put yourself beneath her. That instantly kills the vibe. Instead, here's how high-value men think. And this is where the shift happens. They assume sex is already on the table. Not in a creepy, entitled way, but in a relaxed, playful, confident way. They see sex as a mutual experience, not a prize to be won. They don't think, how do I get her into bed? They think, yeah, if we vibe, we'll probably end up in bed. It'll be fun. That mindset creates a whole different energy. It's calm, it's non-needy, it's grounded in masculine certainty, and women pick up on it instantly. Now, let me give you a little example. Two guys walk into a room, same height, same level of attractiveness. One is thinking, okay, I need to talk to her. What do I say? How do I impress her? What if she rejects me? The other is thinking, she's cute. We'd probably have fun. Let's see how we vibe. Guess which one makes her feel relaxed, safe, intrigued? Guess which one she wants to flirt with? It's the second guy every single time. Because that mindset, that ease, that emotional non-attachment to the outcome is wildly attractive. It makes her feel like she's not being hunted, she's being invited. And women love invitations, not expectations. That shift in energy from seeking approval to offering an experience flips the entire dynamic. You're no longer the one trying to get something from her. You're the one sharing something with her. That's when everything changes. Now, let's take this even deeper. Now, let's talk about how to actually project that mindset, because it's one thing to think confident thoughts. But women don't respond to your inner monologue. They respond to your energy, your vibe, your presence. And guess what? That presence begins the moment you enter the room, even before you say a single word. So, here's the question. How do you carry yourself like the guy she wants to hook up with without saying or doing too much? It starts with one simple rule. Stop trying to impress. Start trying to enjoy. Let me break that down. Most guys walk up to a woman and think, I need to make her like me. I need to prove something. I need to avoid saying the wrong thing. But confident, sexually grounded men, they think, let's see if we vibe. Let's see if she's cool enough to join my world. Let's just have some fun. This simple reframe changes your voice tone, your eye contact, your body language, and even your sense of humor. It makes you loose, playful, magnetic, and that's exactly what allows her to let her guard down and tap into her feminine energy, which is naturally sensual when she feels emotionally safe. Remember this, women don't sleep with men because they're hot. They sleep with men who make them feel free to flirt, free to be wild, free to enjoy the moment without judgment. That only happens when your energy tells her, I'm not here to impress you. I'm here to enjoy myself with or without you. That's the magic. Now, let me give you a real example of how this shows up in conversation. Let's say she says something flirty like, you think you're smooth, huh? The insecure guy, he gets awkward. He tries to defend himself or over-explain. But the confident guy, he just smirks and says, I don't think I know. He says it with a wink, with a tease, with zero need for validation. And she loves it. Not because of the line, but because of the energy behind it. That relaxed, playful confidence. It's irresistible. It's what separates the guys women keep around from the ones they block the next day. And here's what most men don't realize. You can't fake this energy. You can't pretend to be confident when you're desperate. You can't act cool when your entire mindset is focused on getting something from her. So, what's the solution? You change your internal world, and that starts with becoming a man who's genuinely confident about sex. Not performative, not arrogant, just educated, skilled, and at ease. And that leads us to a massive secret most men never think about. Let's dive into that secret most men never even think about: sexual education. Now, I know that might sound clinical or boring, but let me be clear. Nothing is more attractive to a woman than a man who knows what he's doing in the bedroom and doesn't need to brag about it. Because that kind of confidence, that quiet, grounded, earned confidence, it doesn't just make you better in bed. It changes the way you walk, talk, and look at her. It changes your vibe. You become the man who's not hoping for sex. You become the man who expects it to happen naturally if the vibe is right. That's powerful. And here's why it matters. Most men don't actually know what women enjoy sexually. They rely on porn, locker room talk, or trial and error, which means they're not confident. They're anxious, they overthink, they hesitate, they come across as inexperienced or worse, selfish. But the moment a woman senses you actually know how to create pleasure, how to read her body, not just touch it, how to make her feel emotionally and physically safe, she opens up completely. And this is where women are wildly different from men. Because while men can get aroused in seconds with visual stimulation, women need to feel emotionally safe, feel seen, feel anticipation, feel trust. And if she doesn't feel that with you, even if she finds you attractive, she'll shut down. But when you give her that space, when you remove the performance pressure and focus on connection, she lets go. That's when the yes becomes easy. Not because she's manipulated, not because she's pressured, but because she feels safe in your confidence. Now, here's the part most guys miss. Sexual confidence isn't just about moves in bed. It's about education. Understanding the female body, knowing how pleasure actually works for her, what to do, what to say, how to lead the experience from start to finish. That's why I always tell men, invest in your sexual intelligence. The more you know, the less desperate you feel. And the less desperate you feel, the more attractive you become. Let's talk about one of the most powerful mindset shifts in attraction. One that flips the entire power dynamic in your favor. It's called the buyer versus seller frame. This one shift, when done right, makes her chase you, makes her feel like she's the one trying to win you over, makes her feel like sleeping with you is her idea. Here's how it works. Most guys operate in the seller frame without realizing it. They're trying to sell themselves. Look how great I am. I've got this car, this job, this body. I can make you laugh. I can be nice. I can take you out. That's seller energy. And you know what it feels like to a woman? Desperate. She senses that you're trying to prove your value, that you want something, her approval, her affection, her body, and that's a turnoff because it places her in the power position, the chooser, the prize. But here's what high-value men do instead. They adopt the buyer frame. They carry themselves like they are evaluating her. They don't try to prove anything. They simply show up fully grounded and ask one silent question. Do you qualify for my energy? That subtle shift changes everything. Your body language becomes more relaxed. Your words become more playful. Your vibe becomes magnetic because it's not chasing, it's choosing. Here's what's wild. The moment she feels you're not trying to get something from her, the moment she feels you're okay either way, she becomes more intrigued because now it's not about what she can get. It's about what she might miss if she doesn't step up. This is where you create what's called emotional scarcity. When you're not handing your attention out like candy, your energy becomes rare. And in psychology, anything rare becomes valuable. Think about it. She's used to men fawning over her, trying too hard, validating her nonstop. But you're grounded, you're selective, you enjoy her energy, but you're not sold just yet. And that uncertainty drives her crazy in the best way. She starts leaning in, asking questions, trying to impress you because now she's not just responding to your looks or your charm. She's responding to the feeling that you're the chooser. You've just flipped the game. And here's the real kicker. When she feels like she chose to sleep with you, not because you pushed, not because you begged, but because it just felt right, she doesn't regret it. In fact, she craves doing it again. That's how powerful this frame is. So now that you understand the buyer versus seller frame, let's lock that in with something even more powerful, a mindset and a sentence that instantly flips the script and builds raw sexual chemistry without touching her. Ready? Here's the mindset. I already know we're going to have amazing sex. It's just a matter of when. That's it. Simple, right? But that inner belief creates an outer energy that women can feel. You're no longer wondering if you'll sleep with her. You're no longer trying to earn it. You're not chasing. You're not convincing. You're just waiting. And that vibe, that quiet certainty, it's electric. You're not pressuring her. You're not forcing anything. You're just moving through the world like a man who already knows the outcome and is simply enjoying the moments in between. This is what creates sexual inevitability. She starts to feel the tension. She starts to lean in, not because you're asking her to, but because she wants to feel what it's like to be with you. Now, here's the sentence that communicates this without saying it outright. You're on a date. The chemistry is building. You're laughing, teasing, and she's giving you the signs, the lingering touches, the deep eye contact, the playful smiles. And when the moment's right, you lean in slightly and say, calm, confident, low voice, you know we're going to end up doing something crazy. We're just pretending like we won't. Then lean back, say nothing else. Just hold the space. That line does so much. It introduces sex without being crude. It communicates confidence without pressure. It allows her to opt in without feeling unsafe. And most importantly, it creates a shared secret. Now, the idea of intimacy is out there floating in the air between you. You haven't pushed. You haven't assumed. You've simply named the energy that's already there. And that's seductive, because when you match her energy with calm, playful certainty, not neediness, you unlock the feminine part of her that wants to surrender, to feel, to let go. That's the moment her maybe becomes yes. And it never feels forced. It feels like a natural next step. So, now that you've planted the seed of sexual inevitability with that one sentence, let's talk about the invisible force that makes women feel safe, turned on, and open around you, often without even knowing why. That force is sexual confidence, not arrogance, not bravado, not loud, in-your-face dominance. I'm talking about a deep, quiet inner certainty that radiates through every word, every pause, every look. It's the kind of presence that says, I know who I am, I know what I want, and if you're here, it's because you want it too. This is the energy that high-value men naturally carry, and it's magnetic to women, especially emotionally intelligent ones. So, how do you build that kind of sexual confidence? There are 3 internal traits you need to master. 1, non-neediness. This is the foundation. Women can smell neediness from a mile away, and nothing kills attraction faster. But when your sense of self-worth isn't tied to whether she likes you, wants you, or sleeps with you, she feels it. And ironically, that's exactly what makes her want you more. Because now you're not chasing her validation. You're inviting her energy to join yours. That's leadership. That's masculine. 2, grounded presence. Women live in their emotions. Their nervous systems are constantly scanning for signals of safety, stability, and strength. When you're grounded, breathing slow, speaking deliberately, not rushing anything, you create a calm field around you. She relaxes in your presence. And when she feels safe to relax, she opens. This is why the most attractive men never rush anything. They let the moment stretch. They're comfortable in silence because their presence alone is enough. 3, shameless sexuality. This one's powerful. Women are deeply intuitive. They can sense when you're ashamed of your desire, when you feel like you're bad for wanting sex or nervous to admit it. But when you own it, when you radiate the vibe that says, yes, I want you, but I don't need you. Now, you've activated something primal in her. Because women want to be desired, they want to feel like you're turned on by them without apology. The moment you can hold a woman's gaze, fully turned on, with zero fear or shame in your body, she feels it. And if she's into you, she will start giving herself permission to feel that energy too, to lean into the polarity between you. That is what creates explosive chemistry without a single touch. So now that you understand the foundation of sexual confidence, let's talk about what completely destroys it. Because this right here is where 95% of men, even the ones who almost had it, completely fall apart. They say something, they do something, or even worse, they overdo something. And just like that, the mood dies. The energy drops. She pulls back and she doesn't even know why. So what's the mistake? It's called performance energy. Here's how it shows up. You finally sense the attraction is there and you start trying too hard to impress. You lean in too fast, speak too much, laugh too loud. You break eye contact when things get intense. You over-explain, over-apologize, or say something like, was that okay? You try to close the deal before the moment's ready. And from the outside, it looks like you're excited. But from her side, it feels like you're performing, like you're not grounded in you. You're trying to be the man you think she wants. And this right here is a huge attraction killer. Why? Because when you shift into performance, she feels responsible for the moment. She's no longer relaxing into the tension. She's assessing your behavior. She's in her masculine now, scanning, deciding, judging. And when a woman moves into that role, her desire disappears instantly. So, what's the fix? You stop performing. You start embodying. You show up with calm, still presence. You don't try to force anything. You stay connected to yourself, no matter how intense the energy gets. If she says something bold, you don't flinch. You don't giggle nervously. You own the moment with a smirk, a slow nod, a confident pause. And when the tension rises, you don't rush to break it. You don't say something silly. You hold it. You let her feel the full weight of your presence without needing to do anything. Because here's the truth. When you stop performing, you become unforgettable. You become the man who doesn't need approval to feel powerful. And that energy, it's like gasoline on the fire of her desire. Let's paint the picture. You're on a date with a woman who's clearly into you. The conversation's flowing. The chemistry is there. You've already felt the signs, the lingering touch, the eye contact. The way she leans in just a little closer than she needs to. Most guys at this point would start scrambling. Their mind would race. Okay, how do I take it to the next level? Should I kiss her now? Should I invite her over? What do I say? What if she says no? And in doing that, they fumble the moment. Because the second you move into how do I make this happen mode, you've lost your frame. But you do it differently. You've already done the work. You planted the seeds of sexual inevitability. You've held your masculine frame, you've made her feel safe without ever chasing. You've let the tension simmer without rushing to relieve it. So now you don't chase the moment, you create it. Here's how it plays out. You're sitting across from her. The lighting is soft. She's laughing at something you said, her eyes glowing a little more than they were when she arrived. You lean back slightly, relaxed, grounded, and say something subtle but charged. I'm not going to lie. There's a part of me that's wondering how you taste. Now pause. That one line, it's not vulgar. It's not aggressive, but it's intentional. It signals desire without desperation. You don't smile nervously after. You don't apologize. You just hold her gaze, grounded, calm, certain. She'll either blush, look away, bite her lip, or say something teasing. It doesn't matter because now the dynamic has shifted. You've stepped into the polarity, the dance between masculine lead and feminine surrender. She feels it. And if she's feeling the same energy, that's when she starts imagining what it would be like to be alone with you. Not because you begged, but because you stirred something inside her without touching her. Later, when you're walking her to her car or she's standing in your doorway, you don't ask. So do you want to come in? No. You hold her hand, look her in the eyes, and say, if you come inside, I'm not going to pretend we're just having coffee. That right there, that's sexual leadership. Not force, not pressure, just pure embodied confidence that lets her choose, fully informed, fully open. And if she says yes, it's a real yes. One she owns, one she feels safe with, one she'll remember, not as a decision you talked her into, but as a moment she couldn't resist. Because that's what true desire is. It's not manufactured. It's not forced. It's earned through presence, psychology, patience, and precision. And now you know exactly how to create it. So now you know. You know why some men get ignored while others get obsessed over. You know why some guys chase endlessly and end up frustrated, while others say almost nothing and still end up with women craving their presence, their energy, and yes, their touch. You've seen how it all works. It's not about trying harder. It's not about being hotter, richer, or more impressive. It's about understanding her psychology and learning how to work with it, not against it. Because once you shift your mindset, once you start showing up as the man who leads with calm confidence, not thirst or desperation, she can feel it. She senses the difference and her defenses start to fall without you even asking. That's when the real magic happens. That's when she starts showing you signs without saying a word. That's when she invites you deeper without even realizing she's doing it. Because to her, you don't feel like a guy chasing sex. You feel like the man who gets it, who knows how to stir something deeper inside her, something she rarely lets anyone reach, and that's the kind of man a woman says yes to without hesitation. So here's what I want you to take from this. The next time you meet a woman you're drawn to, don't think, how do I impress her? How do I win her over? Instead, think, what energy do I bring into this space? What mood am I setting with my presence alone? And then remember, desire isn't something you chase. It's something you trigger quietly, confidently, from the inside out. And if you want to go even deeper into how this works, the neuroscience, the techniques, the psychological frameworks that make women feel like you're the one, then grab your copy of Attraction Secrets in the description below. Inside, I break down every step of this process with real-life examples, exact word-for-word lines, and everything you need to rewire how women experience you emotionally, physically, and intimately. If you're ready to move differently, to show up with power, not performance, that book is where you start. Until next time, I'm Amelia, and this is Dark Psychology. Stay intentional, stay grounded, and stay dangerous.